Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So 154-pound undisputed champion, the first and only undisputed champion at 154, Jermell Iron Man Lines Only Charlo, has a big fight coming up on September 30th versus Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has, who is undisputed at 168, the first undisputed champion at 168. And, Canelo has been a huge name in the sport over the last 10 years. And, this is a huge opportunity for Jermell Charlo to become undisputed in a second weight class. And we know that they have the whole WBO thing trying to, they already planning to strip him the night of the fight. Well, he still, at least for that night, will have the opportunity to be undisputed simultaneously in two weight classes. You dig what I'm saying? Some shit that you never seen before in male boxing. I think Clarissa Shields did it, was undisputed in two different weight classes at the same time, but never before has that been done in male boxing. So Jermell Charlo has an opportunity to do some incredible stuff, and he got a big fight coming up, man. And I saw, he posts some footage. You guys seen the short that I uploaded with him training, and he's posted some footage and some pictures of how training camp is going for him. Jermell Charlo is looking to be in phenomenal shape, looking strong. Y'all know Jermell Charlo is my favorite fighter, man. I love everything that Jermell Charlo brings to the sport of boxing, that the killer mentality, the willingness to take on all the smoke. People call him emotional, but he just got that aggression and that passion in him. And I love that about him and his game, man. Like, when he put it all together, you could just see this guy really can do it all in the ring. And my favorite performance was his last performance versus Brian Castano in a rematch for Undisputed. I mean, the ability to box off the back foot, to fight off the ropes when he needed to. The counter-punching ability is so underrated for Jermell Charlo. The jab, the left hook. He and his brother Jamal have one of the best left hooks in the sport. The uppercut, he went to the body a lot in that Castano rematch. And, he has a great coach with him, Derek James, man. Also, Joan Guzman, who is a great coach. Man, I love what Guzman has been doing with Jermell Charlo. You just see I love how, Jermell took a lot of the stuff that he learned from Ronnie Shields, which was pretty much his foundation, and has used the great resources that he has in Derek James and Joan Guzman, and just, putting those things together cohesively and really bringing it out little by little and showing more and more in these fights. And I'm expecting to see just the same way we saw a jump in performance from the first Castano fight to the second one. I'm expecting to see a jump in performance in this Canelo fight. Now, speaking of jumping, he's jumping up to 168. Now, that's a big deal. This fight is not going to be an easy fight. Jermell Charlo is the underdog for good reason. You fighting a pound-for-pound caliber guy, Canelo Alvarez, who is strong as fuck, who is a supremely skilled fighter, who has been fighting at this weight class. He even fought at 175. We all know that. So this is a huge task for Jermell Charlo. But what I want to talk about is Jermell Charlo coming out saying that, hey, I want Terence Crawford next. He said, after Terence Crawford satisfies his rematch with Errol Spence, if that's going to be the case, we don't know if Errol Spence is going to take that rematch. But if he does, he got that obligation. Terence Crawford comes out on top. If he does, that's not a foregone conclusion, even though the performance that he put on was so dominant that people are like, we don't want to see no rematch, myself included. I'm like, we don't need to see no damn rematch. Terence Crawford was flawless in that fight. But if that does take place, Jermell Charlo is like, okay, after you take care of that, I take care of my fight on September 30th. We got a match. Jermell Charlo is welcoming the idea of going back down to 154. He said in the interview with Brian Custer the night of that Spence and Crawford fight that I ain't done at 154. that's my division. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo is really a natural 154 pounder. That's why he's been at that weight class his whole career, and it's easy for him to make. In my opinion, I think that's one of the positives about him moving up to 168 because, and when I say moving up to 168 just for this fight, I'm thinking in terms of him moving up and coming back down because I've never been a huge fan of guys going up and coming down. We saw what that did to Kell Brook going up to fight Triple G and then coming back down to 147. We saw what it did to Roy Jones Jr. going all the way up to heavyweight and then coming back down. Normally it doesn't turn out good. We saw Floyd Mayweather go to 54 and then come back down to 47, and he did it successfully. But let me tell you, I pointed that out, those different scenarios, because it's going to tie into my perspective of what this will look like for Jermell Charlo. The reason why I'm not super concerned with Jermell is the same reason why I wasn't super concerned with Floyd, because Floyd was natural at 47. He filled in good at that weight. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo, he fills in good at 54. It's not hard for him to make 54 at all. If it's up to Jermell, he will stay at 54 his whole career. He said that plenty of times. The only reason he's going to 168 is to be great and to challenge himself and to have that opportunity to be undisputed in two weight classes at the same time versus a great opponent in Canelo Alvarez, who is respected across the sport of boxing, not even just boxing, globally known. Canelo Alvarez is a real deal superstar, a household name. So with Jermell Charlo, it's not like he's struggling to make 54 and then you go up and then you come back down, you suck yourself back down to a weight that you struggling at. That's not the case with Jermell. The same way with Floyd. Floyd didn't have no problems making 47. So him going up to 54 and coming back down, it wasn't like he's depleting himself to get back down to a lower weight. With Jermell, I think when they weigh in, Jermell probably won't be no more than 165 on the scale. And if I'm Jermell, I'm not trying to bulk up super big and put on hella muscle and weight to get the 168. That's not going to behoove him. You know what I'm saying? It won't be advantageous for him to put on all that extra shit and then, to think that it's going to give you some type of advantage. No, if I'm Jermell and what I think is going to happen, I think Jermell Charlo is going to fight more so around his walk around weight. Now, when I say he's natural at 154, that don't mean he walk around at 154. That means he naturally walks around about 10 pounds above that weight, which is because it's easy to cut 10 pounds. Over the course of 8 to 10 weeks, cutting 10, that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You cutting out water weight and you put that shit right back on in, 36 hours. You dig what I'm saying? So for Jermell Charlo, I think he's going, right now, he's training and just toning up, sharpening up. I think Jermell right now is working on a whole lot of skills and strategy-based training. Not necessarily, worried about no weight. I think he's right now training around his walk around weight, which is probably going to be like 165, 166, something like that. You feel what I'm saying? And just sharpening up his game, man, making sure he's in phenomenal conditioning, making sure he's able to keep his stamina up, because he's going to have to move in this Canelo fight. He's going to have to use his jab. He's going to have to use his feet. He's going to have to use angles. He's going to have to make Canelo work. The counter punching is going to have to be good because it's going to be two really good counter punchers. Canelo is a elite counter puncher. Jermell Charlo is a very good counter puncher as well. A lot of people don't give him credit for his ability to counter, but he can also be first too. I think this fight he gonna have to have a mixture of both, being first and being a counter puncher, countering Canelo when he comes in and try to make him miss and make him pay. He gotta double that, make Canelo miss and then make Canelo pay. You dig what I'm saying? And then be first with his jab too, and make Canelo up his work rate. You know what I'm saying? We seen Canelo have issues with getting tired later on in fights. I think Jermell Charlo uses that to his advantage, but it's not going to be easy. This is an uphill battle, and Jermell Charlo will be the underdog. So, but this is more so talking about the matchup, a potential matchup with Terence Crawford, a fight that I think is a great fight now, and is even better than the idea of it previously, because before Terence Crawford fought Errol Spence, I was telling y'all, like, number one, I told y'all, I don't think Errol Spence beat Jermell Charlo, and I don't think Terence Crawford beat Jermell Charlo. And I didn't even want to talk about a Jermell Charlo and Terence Crawford fight. I'm like, dude, too little. He gonna get knocked out. You dig what I'm saying? It's just not gonna be good for him. Jermell touch his chin, he going to sleep. But after Terence Crawford put on the performance that he did versus Errol Spence, now that don't necessarily make me think, oh, well, he just gonna go in there and do the same shit to Jermell, because I told y'all I didn't think Jermell Charlo, I didn't think Errol Spence could beat Jermell Charlo. That I just stood on that. You dig what I'm saying? But I didn't think Terence Crawford was gonna do what he did to Errol Spence. So what that does is get my mind thinking. It's like, okay, damn, well, this is gonna be interesting. And I actually think it's a competitive fight now. I actually think that's a fight that Terence Crawford has every opportunity to win. And of course, I think Jermell Charlo has every opportunity to win, being a natural guy at 154. So you're going to see a way, the reach is going to be very similar. Terence Crawford has 74. Jermell Charlo listed at 73.5, which is pretty much about the same. You're going to see Jermell Charlo 5'11", almost 6 feet. Crawford coming in at 5'8". He's going to be, Jermell is going to be the naturally bigger guy who has one-punch knockout power, something that Errol Spence really didn't possess. I think Jermell Charlo is faster than Errol Spence with hand speed and foot speed. Jermell Charlo he's a better counterpuncher than Errol Spence. He's more of a mover laterally and athletically. Jermell Charlo just present a lot of things to Terence Crawford that Errol Spence just didn't have. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all know I'm a huge Errol Spence fan as well, but people was getting on me when I say that I don't think Errol Spence can beat Jermell Charlo, and I'm trying to tell y'all, Jermell Charlo he has things that Errol Spence don't have. You could say Errol Spence might be more technically and fundamentally sound, and I agree with that. But Jermell Charlo, even though he's a little bit more like like a wild card, and sometimes he can get reckless in there, but it's like it's chaotic, but it's dangerous though. You dig what I'm saying? So it could get him in trouble sometimes, but as you've seen in his career, every time he step up, he put on great performances. So this is a great fight. And shout out to Terence Crawford, because Jermell Charlo went on his Instagram. He posted these pictures. Y'all seen it in the community that I posted. And he said, look, hey, you take care of your obligations with Errol Spence, and I'm coming back down, and I want the smoke with Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford, in the comments, he said, hey, man, look, good luck on your fight. I wish you nothing but the best, and I'll see you when you come back down to 154. And I love that, man. That's what this sport is about. Two elite fighters, two black American fighters, you know what I'm saying? Two guys that they want the smoke, man. And these is two real killers. And I love this. I love this. This is a fight that I think it's a huge fight. If Jermell Charlo, now he gotta beat Canelo. If he don't beat Canelo, the mystique, the whole build up of this fight, it ain't the same. He has to win this fight with Canelo. So I think Jermell needs to stay focused on Canelo and don't pay too much attention to Crawford right now. Stay focused on Canelo, because you gotta win this fight. Because if you don't win this fight, all this Crawford shit don't mean nothing. Yeah, you still champion at 154, and I would still want to see that fight, but it ain't the same though. So you beat Canelo, now you got the whole storyline behind all the trash talk between Crawford and Charlo. The fact that Charlo is from the same camp as Errol Spence. The fact that his boy is Errol Spence, and he gonna try to go get it back in blood for his partner. You dig what I'm saying? It's a whole like storyline that's gonna be fucking huge, and you got two real deal legit knockout artists, Jermell Charlo and Terence Crawford. So it's a great matchup. I would love to see it, but Jermell Charlo, you got to take care of Canelo Alvarez first. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. What do y'all think about a potential Jermell Charlo and Terence Crawford fight? How y'all see that playing out? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.